Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And this one I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
We're looking at AI in action
Yeah.
and specifically AI in education, which
Yeah. It's a hot topic right now.
it's a really hot topic. And you know what? I've been seeing it all over the place online, even outside of like the research that we do for the show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it seems like all of a sudden everybody's talking about this EduAI.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because it's making waves and it's different than just like your typical
Right.
adaptive learning software or something like that.
Yeah, like I've seen that before. Like you take a quiz and if you
Yeah.
get it wrong, it gives you an easier question or something.
Right. Or just like,
Yeah.
it gives you another quiz that's kind of similar.
Right, exactly. But this is different, right?
This is different. This is using like natural language processing
Okay.
and machine learning.
So what does that mean?
So basically, the system is able to understand the way that students are interacting with it
Okay.
in a much deeper way. So it's not just looking at whether you clicked A, B, or C.
Oh, okay.
It's actually like reading your written answers
Oh, wow.
and figuring out from how you're writing
Wow.
what you understand and what you don't.
So like if I was struggling with fractions or something, it would know that
Exactly.
based on like how I'm trying to answer the questions.
Yeah, it's looking at all sorts of data points, like how long you hesitate on a question.
Wow.
What parts of the problem you revisit.
Mm.
Even your writing style in your explanations can give it clues about your understanding.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And then it uses these algorithms, which are basically like sets of rules,
Okay.
to figure out what kind of help you need. So it's like a personalized tutor in a way.
Oh, wow. So this isn't just like some,
Right.
idea that somebody has. It's actually
Yeah, this is a real thing.
Okay.
It's being implemented in schools across the US and Europe.
Wow.
As we speak, and the early results are really promising.
Like what kind of results are we seeing?
Well, some pilot schools are reporting a 20% increase in student engagement,
Really?
which is huge. I mean, think about
That is big.
all the kids who are zoning out in the back row. Now they're suddenly interested.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's a really positive sign.
Yeah, but I mean, engagement's one thing, but what about like actual learning are we seeing?
Right.
Better grades. Are kids actually understanding the material better?
Well, that's the really exciting part.
Right.
The data also shows a 15% improvement in test scores in those same pilot schools.
Wow.
And it's not just rote memorization.
Okay.
They're actually understanding the concepts more deeply, which is...
So it's actually helping them learn.
It really seems to be helping them learn.
Wow. I'm starting to see why everybody's
Yeah.
so excited about this.
Yeah.
So what do you make of all this? I mean, are we looking at the future of education here?
Well, it's certainly a powerful tool, and it has the potential to personalize learning like we've never seen before. But we have to remember that it's not just a tool for students. It can also be really valuable for teachers.
Yeah, because it can give them like insights into
Exactly.
what their students are struggling with.
It's like giving teachers superpowers
Yeah.
to see exactly where each student needs help.
Right. So they can actually like
Ah.
tailor their teaching to each student.
Exactly. It's like having a personalized cheat sheet for every kid in the classroom.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And this personalized approach is something that a lot of experts are really excited about.
Yeah.
Dr. Helen Stewart, who's a leading educational psychologist, you know her.
Yep.
She believes that EduAI could be a game changer when it comes to addressing individual learning needs and potentially reducing educational disparities.
Okay, now that's a big statement. And it seems like the public is kind of picking up on this too. Have you seen
Oh, absolutely.
all the stuff online?
The internet is buzzing with this.
Yeah. I mean, hashtag EduAI revolution is
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And it's really interesting to see the range of reactions.
Yeah, because I imagine there are some people who are a little bit,
Oh, yeah. There's definitely concerns.
yeah.
People are worried about the human element of teaching.
Right. Are we going to lose that?
Yeah. Are we going to turn classrooms into these sterile, tech-driven environments?
Right.
And then there's the big one, data privacy.
Yeah. How much information is this thing collecting about our kids?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what are they doing to protect it?
Right. That's a huge question.
It's a critical question, and it's one that we need to be asking.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to make sure that any platform that's collecting student data is doing so responsibly.
Absolutely, and ethically.
Yes, ethically. That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like we're kind of walking this tightrope right now between like this incredible potential and these like very valid concerns that people have.
Absolutely. It's really a reflection of, I think, where we are
Yeah.
as a society with technology in general.
Right. Like it's not just about EduAI. It's about
how we're using technology in all aspects of our lives.
Exactly. And how do we integrate it
Yeah.
responsibly and ethically
Right.
into something like education, which is so fundamental, you know?
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, one of the things that really struck me was
Yeah.
Dr. Stewart's point about how EduAI could potentially help address,
Right.
like, educational disparities.
Right.
I mean, could this actually level the playing field?
That's the big promise, right?
Yeah.
And there is some early evidence that suggests that it could.
Oh, okay. Like, what kind of evidence?
Well, think about a student who struggles with dyslexia.
Yeah.
For example, in a traditional classroom, that can be a really challenging environment. But with EduAI,
Yeah.
it could adapt the materials to their specific needs.
Right. So it could, like, present the information visually instead of just relying on text.
Exactly. Or it could, read the text aloud to them.
Oh, wow.
So there's all these different ways that it can be customized to really meet the needs of that individual learner.
So it's not just about keeping the high achievers engaged.
All right.
It's about providing support for the students who might otherwise, fall behind.
It's about making education truly accessible to everyone.
And imagine, like, a rural school district
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have a lot of resources.
Right.
They could use EduAI to provide high-quality instruction that they might not otherwise be able to afford.
Absolutely. It could really democratize access to education.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it makes you think,
Yeah.
if we can personalize education to this degree, what other areas of life could benefit from this?
That's a great question. I mean, we're already seeing it in healthcare,
Oh, really?
Personalized treatment plans based on your individual genetic makeup.
Wow.
Or, in the business world, you've got those AI-powered customer service bots that are getting more and more sophisticated.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's also kind of scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we're talking about some pretty profound changes here.
Yeah.
And change can be scary, especially when it comes to something as fundamental as education.
We've been doing education pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
For centuries.
For a really long time.
So this is a big shift.
It is. And that's why I think it's so important to have these conversations.
Absolutely.
To really weigh the potential benefits against the potential risks.
Yeah, we need to be thoughtful about how we implement this technology.
Yeah, we can't just, like, throw it into the classroom and hope for the best.
We need to be intentional, and we need to make sure that it's actually benefiting students and not harming them.
And, it's interesting because we often talk about AI as this, like, futuristic thing,
Like it's something that's coming.
Right.
But with EduAI, it's already here.
Right. It's happening now.
It's happening now, which means we have a real opportunity to shape how it's used.
You kind of guide it in the right direction.
Exactly, to make sure that it's used ethically and responsibly.
And that it benefits all students.
Yes, that's the key.
Yeah, not just a select few.
It needs to be accessible and equitable for everyone.
And I think that's where, the listeners come in.
Absolutely.
Like, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
How do you see AI changing education?
What excites you? What concerns you?
Yeah, share your thoughts on social media. Join the conversation.
Let's explore this together.
Yeah, let's figure this out together. It's pretty amazing to think about, those pilot schools where they're already using EduAI.
Yeah.
Seeing that 20% increase in engagement and 15% boost in test scores, it really makes you wonder.
Yeah, it really does. It makes you think about what's possible.
What if this is, like, the key to unlocking, a whole new level of potential?
Yeah.
Not just for the high achievers, but for every student.
Right, for every student, regardless of their background.
Yeah, their learning style.
Their circumstances.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. It's a very exciting prospect.
And, education is so important.
It's the foundation of everything.
It really is.
It's how we prepare future generations to solve the world's problems, to innovate.
To be good citizens.
To be good citizens, to create a better world.
Yeah. So if AI can help us do that more effectively, if it can help us tailor education to the needs of each individual learner, shouldn't we be exploring that?
I think we have a moral imperative to explore its full potential.
But of course, we have to be careful.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? We can't just
We can't just assume it's going to be a panacea.
Right.
We have to be thoughtful. We have to be cautious.
So what does that look like?
Well, means having those tough conversations about data privacy, about the role of human teachers.
Right. Are we going to replace teachers?
Exactly. And what are the ethical considerations?
Yeah. Are there biases in the algorithms?
Right. Because algorithms are created by humans, so they can reflect our own biases.
So we need to be aware of that.
We need to be very aware of that.
And we need to be active participants in this.
Absolutely.
We can't just be passive.
You can't just sit back and let the technology dictate.
Right. We need to shape how it's used.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay.
Could AI-driven personalization be the key to unlocking each student's full potential? And what other areas of life could benefit from this level of customization?
Yeah, those are great questions.
It's something to think about.
Something to ponder, to discuss, to debate.
And for those of you who are as fascinated by the potential of AI as we are, be sure to follow @AI for the People for more insights and updates on this rapidly evolving field. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of EduAI.